the US Open starts in a week. So playing through a match with Alcaraz might make his illness worse. And it's hard enough for Sinner to beat Alcaraz even without an illness. So he's obviously going to prioritize the majors over like this match of a Masters because Sinner wants to be GOAT, right? And the number one criteria for GOAT is Grand Slams. So he's going to prioritize the US Open over Cincinnati. So that's his number one reason why he would retire due to a strategic decision. And if you watch the match closely, it was pretty obvious to me that Sinner wasn't really trying. There was one point where he hit like some really good balls. He had like an easy volley in the middle of the court. And he absolutely dumped that into the middle of the net. Basically just walked up to it, just had some brick touch. No matter how sick you are, no matter how sick Sinner is, if he's able to slap the ball that hard, there's no way he gave like 5% effort and like just missed that volley. If you're genuinely trying to win the match, that's like the easiest ball like he has to get. So when he made his like speech about how he was like trying to come out and play, he clearly wasn't. He was not running at all. He was just standing up like just walking. Even though he could slap like crazy hard, he had some crazy slap rallies. If you're able to slap that hard, there's no way you should be like walking around the court. You can definitely run. And when he went down like a break, two breaks, he looked like he already knew this was going to happen. And he just clearly just didn't care at all. And the thing is, we've seen Sinner push past illnesses in the past. When he played against Rune at Australian Open, fourth round or quarters, he was very sick. He had like the doctor give him like shots to make him feel better. His team said he was pale the day before, and they were really not sure if he could even compete at all. Sinner, in fact, pushed through that, was able to beat Rune in 4 sets. Obviously, a lot of the breaks help him get him that rest, but it's clear that he's able to push through really bad illnesses. And from the looks of it, Sinner, the illness wasn't as bad this time. It wasn't as bad this time as it was against Rune. So it's clear that, because when he played against Rune, it was a Grand Slam, so he's going to push himself as hard as he possibly could. While here, it's just the Masters final, and also he's playing Alcaraz, so there's a lot of risk with it, because you're probably not going to win anyways, right? That's what he's thinking. He's probably not going to win anyways, so there's no point in pushing his body. And when he was playing as Rune, he didn't act like super sick, right? He wasn't walking around the court acting like, oh, I'm just going to slap the ball and just hope for the best. He was running. He was trying to make it seem like he was normal. Even for like a fan watching, it's clear he wasn't. Like that's that's how someone actually trying to win when they're sick should be. He's also struggling physically against Atmane, right? He didn't show it. Like, if you were to like watch like maybe a point or two, you wouldn't tell that Sinner was struggling physically. But he was struggling physically. The commentators also pointed it out. In the beginning of the second set, he had some physical issues. And this is really bad for the sport and the fans. Because Sinner came out to the fans, like he said, he came out like in the speech, the ceremony. He said that he came out for the fans to try, but in my opinion, he clearly didn't. And that was and he made like a fake apology. That's just completely fake. Like, if you were to actually want to try for the fans, you'd be like Kobe, right? Kobe, he had his Achilles was completely gone, like it was completely torn, and he was still fighting through it and playing. Like, at least, at least have some look of you trying, walking around. Like, if you're planning to go out in the court and walk around, like, just pull out, like, just retire. Like, there's no chance you're gonna win. Like, there's no way you just come out and just have that kind of energy, attitude. If you're gonna come out, you at least try like the first 3 games, like push yourself to the limit, run for everything, right? That's like what it actually means to try. And imagine being a fan, waking up that day, like you have some good tickets, You put some money together. You worked, like you had some work, get some savings. Took some money out of your savings. Go on this vacation and buy like good, nice tickets so you can see a Sinner Alcaraz final. And then imagine just being there with the disappointment of just Sinner retiring. Like, if I was a fan, I would be crying. Like, horrible. And it's not like Sinner's going to reimburse the fans. Like, oh, look, you bought some crazy expensive tickets because I know it's Sinner versus Alcaraz. It's going to be super expensive. I know I bought some crazy expensive tickets, but, my bad. I went out there. I, walked around, slapped a few balls. I tried. Like, that's not going to cut it. And the whole point of this is not to say that Sinner was not dealing with an illness. He's 100% dealing with an illness. The reason why he's world number one is because he pushes himself past his limits. These guys at their level, they love competition. They love the pressure. They love dealing with facing a challenge like Alcaraz. Like, he loves that. Like, Alcaraz loves it too. Like, these players, they love it. So, of course, he feels really bad about retiring. He wouldn't just do it because he's scared of losing, scared of getting bageled, which many people were saying when he retired at 5-0. He was scared of getting bageled or losing face. That's not the reason why he retired. He just didn't want to play anymore. He wanted to prepare for the US Open, keep his body healthy. That's what he wanted. And during his speech after the match, during the ceremony, I was quite shocked to see the fans were still applauding for him. I feel like that's like one of the most respectful crowds I've ever seen. Because if I was there, man, I would just be crying. Like, I would not be clapping for Sinner when he walked out onto the court to get his trophy. There's no way I would have done that. And they were doing it. So that just shows the fans that were at the tournament, they were really good, really nice. Like, honestly, that just completely blew my mind that happened. I expected boos, just lots of angry comments at Sinner, but it didn't happen. So there's a lot of retirements this Cincinnati Open. So is the heat and the humidity to blame for all the retirements? I would say that yes, it is definitely a big factor, but it also comes down to a matter of cardio. So just think about it. If players just did cardio, no strength training, they would be able to withstand this heat. Obviously, that's not practical, but it still is a matter of fitness. Obviously, these guys are the most fit, probably some of the most fit athletes in the world, across all sports. In terms of tennis, they're definitely the very top. So if they're struggling, that means there's something wrong with the environment, right? Probably not send them, maybe give them some more rest, something even as simple as increasing the time during the changeovers, or maybe increasing the shot clock, right? These are some simple things that can be done to help mitigate these kinds of retirements due to heat, because it happened a lot, with Davidovich Fokina, Rinderknecht. There's just a lot of people struggling with the heat. So my opinion on retirements is that players should only retire if they absolutely cannot continue. So, for example, Rinderknecht is a good example of this, because he was literally collapsed due to the heat, and he was just completely struggling. It was really hard to watch, honestly. And in that kind of situation, where your body is just completely telling you, just shutting down, you should not just play. You should just give up, just leave. Someone like Zverev, for instance, too, they could have also retired, but finishing the match is a sportsmanship move. And the thing is, because fans pay the tickets to be there, right? Think Kobe, what I said before. They're looking forward to some tennis. And if you're just physically feeling tired or just exhausted, that is not a good reason to retire. At least call a medical timeout, call a trainer, try to sort some things out, try to push through it, play some extra games. Just do as much as you can just to play for the fans. Because the fans really spent hella money to watch these matches. These tickets are not cheap. And the thing about players at the ATP level, these top players, compared to like the lower tier players. Like the reason why in challengers and futures it's crazy hot. Even in juniors, it's like 40 plus degrees. Like this Cincinnati, it's like 30 plus degrees. Like some of the juniors, like in Las Vegas, Arizona, like Easter Bowl even, like in Indian Wells, it's like 40 plus degrees. People were competing, and these were juniors too. So their fitness is obviously not going to be like quite as high level. Obviously, the rallies are going to be more intense. The points are going to be more intense as well. But players that like the challenge and futures, they're battling through like illnesses. They're battling through injuries because they literally have to win to survive. Because these players, they need the money. Like they're going broke. Like even like Atman, for instance, when he was 130 ATP, like he had no sponsors. He had like nothing. He was buying his own kit. Like that's pretty crazy. So like if like imagine someone like him, like if he didn't get this breakthrough at the Cincinnati tournament, like he literally made like no money. Like Taro Daniel once on like Changeover podcast, he said that like players spend like 500K a year, the like top players, not really top, but like more like top 60 even, spend 500K a year on their teams. So like you have to make 500K a year just to break even. And like some of the Challenger Tour, the career earnings might just be 500K. So very hard to live. So in their shoes, they're gonna be fighting for everything. Like even if they're really sick, they're gonna just be playing their hearts out. But players like Sinner, right? They don't need that. Like they don't have any money issues because they make millions of dollars. So they don't need to just fight through everything. So in those kind of situations where you really shouldn't retire, like he should have at least, fought through a set, done his best, ran around. Just that's what you really call like trying to win. He just didn't try. He should have just put out the match at the very start. If it was just strategic decision, obviously it's a huge disservice to the fans. But I think it's better than coming out and just doing that.